right, so.
Even under the tent. I don't know. You know, we didn't bring a tripod.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to stand for the presentation of the colors by the Navy and Marine Corps ROTC, followed by the national anthem.
We're here tonight, as you know, to dedicate the James A. Baker III Hall behind us. Tonight, though, is in many ways a triple celebration. We're here to celebrate the completion of this magnificent building, to celebrate the remarkable progress that the Baker Institute has already made among the public policy institutes of the world, and most especially to celebrate the dedication and hard work of countless individuals, many of whom are in this audience tonight, who made all of this possible. But it's against that background, I would ask you to think back with me just for a moment. About 3 years ago exactly,
Thank you very much, Bill. Very few of us here today ever got to know William Ward Watkin, but all of us are in his debt. As a person that left his home in Boston shortly after the turn of the century, came to Houston representing his firm of Crayon, Goodhue and Ferguson to participate in the design of a new university, the Rice Institute. The interesting thing about Mr. Watkin was that after the work was completed, he stayed on. He became the first dean of the School of Architecture. Bill has already told you, when the board decides to build a new building, they give a commission to the Building and Grounds Committee, and the committee then designs and constructs the building and returns the building when it's completed to the administration. But Mr. Watkin told us the standard against which we should judge our efforts. He said, every building to be built on this campus should be, quote, exceptional in its form and function, end quote. Our architect, Tom Beebe, the Andy McPhillamy with Morris Architects here in Houston, Glenn Barron in Morganti, Texas, the contractors, all the team from Century Development, the project managers, and of course, additionally, the project was supervised on campus by Ed Jurigian, Dean Curry, Bob Stein, Jill Blackwelder, John Bosch, and Alvin Parks. Let's give them a real hand. Advocate of the Baker Institute, he has guided the construction of this building since the day we broke ground something over 3 years ago. Malcolm, will you please come forward? In keeping with the university tradition, as chair of the Building and Grounds Committee on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the university, it is now my distinct privilege to give you this key to the building and to tell you that we now turn over to James A. Baker, the third hall to Rice University.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. No university anywhere is blessed with finer friends than Rice University. We have people who've come a long way tonight from as far away as Kuwait to join us in these ceremonies. I thank you all. And thank you, Kent. On behalf of the faculty, students, alumni, and friends of Rice University, we gratefully accept James A. Baker III Hall. We extend our deepest thanks to the exceptional individuals who comprise the Board of Governors of Rice University. Their leadership and their vision have been central not only to the ongoing success of this university generally, but this venture as well. Throughout America and around the world, I express our deepest thanks. Within the past 12 months, we've completed on campus 3 new buildings in fields that we believe will be of pivotal importance in the coming century. Last November, power of computer hardware and software. Next spring, we will formally open Dell Butcher Hall, where we expect teaching and research on the nanoscale frontier to impact significantly science, technology, and human life generally in the 21st century. It will be addressed in a facility that draws its inspiration from time-honored traditions of the past. It is no accident that Baker Hall features a red tile roof, the first campus building. Comparisons between Lovett Hall and Baker Hall, the first president, Edgar Odell Lovett, and the first chairman, Captain James Baker. They left to the university important intellectual and financial legacies, and in addition to bequeath his own legacy to Rice. His forceful and insightful presence moves this university forward in the very same ambitious spirit so characteristic of its founders, especially his grandfather. So for me, it is a special privilege to introduce the honorary chairman of the Baker Institute and a true son of Rice University, Secretary James Baker.
Thank you very much, Malcolm. Secretary Kissinger, Senator Hutchinson, Mayor Lanier, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being with us this evening. You know, there are moments in life when an individual is reminded, I think, how little he or she may have accomplished on their own and how much they owe to others. For me, of course, this is such a moment. I am both honored by this ceremony and humbled by this ceremony. I am, of course, honored by this great university's decision to name first an institute after me and now this magnificent hall. But I am also humbled by the awareness that neither this institute nor this building would exist today without the unstinting generosity of countless friends, many of whom are here with us this evening. I will not even attempt to thank you individually. I wouldn't know where to begin or where to end. But I would like to express my gratitude to you for the support, both the material support and the moral support that you have given this institute since its inception just 4½ short years ago. And I would also like to assure everybody here tonight that all of us associated with the Institute are committed to repaying fully the confidence that you've placed in us. Under the very able leadership of Ed Dirigium, the Institute has already made what I think is truly an extraordinary start. It has begun putting its mark on subjects as varied as the Middle East peace process, urban crime and violence, international energy markets, and tax reform. And it has done so in ways that conform to the highest standards of academic excellence and intellectual integrity. Our vision, our original vision of the Institute as a bridge between the world of action and the world of ideas, I think we can safely say is rapidly becoming a reality. It is a vision that I think was first eloquently described by Woodrow Wilson, that great American statesman and educator, decades ago. The man, Wilson declared, who has the time and the discrimination and the sagacity to collect and comprehend the principal facts, and the man who must act upon those facts, must draw near to one another, and they must feel that they are engaged in a common enterprise. The student must look upon his studies more like a man of action, and the man of action must approach his conclusions more like a student. I think the Baker Institute is now fully embarked on Wilson's grand common enterprise. We are bringing together scholars and practitioners every day to address jointly some of the most urgent and contentious questions. But even more importantly, I think we are helping to inform the American and international public about issues which will shape their lives for many, many years to come. In a very real sense, then, the Institute's mission is a mission of education. And this hall is truly a place of learning. Let me end these brief remarks on a personal note. Looking at this building, I cannot but remember that this building will be here for a long, long time after I'm gone. That is a very sobering thought. But it is also an exhilarating thought. That's because I can't imagine a better way to be remembered than here at Rice, a university so closely linked to my family for nearly a century, than through this institute, dedicated as it is to a cause that is so dear to my heart, than by this building, made possible by the support of so many friends here at Rice, across the nation, and around the world. I am obviously very deeply moved, and I am profoundly grateful. I thank you all very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, and now it is my great privilege to introduce a very special participant in today's ceremony, the junior United States Senator from Texas, the Honorable Kay Baily-Hutchinson. Kay.
Thank you. The English poet Samuel Butler wrote in the mid-1600s, "There's but the twinkling of a star between a man of peace and war." James Addison Baker III, the 61st Secretary of State of the United States, has been a star for our country in both war and peace, because he knew when it was necessary to make war to have a lasting peace for the world. When President George Bush said Saddam Hussein's aggression against Kuwait would not stand, Jim Baker faced down the Iraqis in direct negotiations and helped President Bush put together an unprecedented alliance of countries to support Operation Desert Storm. America and our allies went to war and won a decisive victory for peace. When Israel and its Arab neighbors seemed hopelessly locked into conflict, Jim Baker's determined diplomacy brought the parties toward the path of peace. When America won the Cold War, Jim Baker was there urging the newly freed nations of Eastern Europe to adopt the principles of freedom and law, putting them on the path to prosperity. Fellow Texan, a friend, and a patriot, James Baker, measured up to Jefferson's standard for diplomacy. Congratulations, Jim. Congratulations to Rice University for having this lasting effort for peace for our country and the world right here in the greatest state in America. Thank you.
Baker, Mrs. Baker, Secretary Kissinger, Senator Hutchinson, Mayor Lanier, distinguished members of the Board of Governors, Rice University, Congressman Benson, distinguished guests, friends. To build a house of ideas requires many hands and many minds. We are deeply grateful for everyone who has supported us in this unique endeavor. This beautiful edifice, James A. Baker III Hall, is a classic example of form following function, and we are indebted to our architect, Thomas Beebe, for his creativity and effectiveness. This hall is a tribute to a great American public servant who exemplifies the quest for excellence in thought and action. Francoise and I were honored to serve with him in the government and are honored to be part of the Institute, a constant source of support and collaboration, and he was the best neighbor I could ask for in our new building. Bob.
The Baker Institute and the School of Social Sciences have much more in common than the shared occupancy of this magnificent new building. We are, as I've often told my colleagues, joined at the hip. When the idea of the Policy Institute was first discussed at Rice, it was the School of Social Sciences that was suggested as a logical collaborator for the Baker Institute. To date, our collaboration has succeeded in producing a world-class facility and a very significant enhancement to our space in Sewell Hall. The future, however, promises much more. Our faculty and students have much to contribute to the work and impact of the Baker Institute. We are about questions and hopefully answers to vexing world problems. Some of us will identify specific ways to solve immediate problems. Already the Institute and Rice faculty have made significant contributions to identifying new ideas for taxation policy, effective ways of resolving long-standing disputes in the sub-Saharan, and better ways to move energy resources throughout the world. Others among us, however, are incubating the solutions to problems we've not yet encountered. Universities are places where students and faculty think about questions not yet asked.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank all of our distinguished participants and guests for sharing this celebration with us. We will now proceed with the ribbon cutting, after which you are invited to the reception in the William J. Doré Commons in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated as our honored guests prepare to cut the ribbon to officially open James A. Baker III Hall.
Fourth, Mr. James O. Winston. Day. We ask that you please remain seated until the stage has been cleared. As the dais participants leave the stage, I would like to make one announcement. Due to an overwhelming response, the
Okay, now talk to each other.
Well, what can we talk about? There's plenty to talk about.
Today, what do you think about this day?
Glory. How did this planning seminar end?
We're gonna add one.
Free Tibet. I'm delighted to free Tibet on the also on the streets. I had to score, I would have said out of home. Trade with China being on my side. Okay. Ariana Huffing, who was, totally unrestrained. She didn't really
Stand by this pretty lady who put all this together. She put it all together. This is Cindy who was
Okay.
A long time. Oh, it was no problem for me to turn people away. Yes.
And they wanted me to take their pictures of the picture of the end. I didn't know they were.
It works.
That's crazy. He's going to get
Deleted my life. Deleted my life.
down here. He would be well received.
And they have no idea what's going to happen because they were told it could be controlled. Anybody with a personal card can come in. Which means that the nuts, 1,500 people, the nuts are going to be there 4 hours ahead of time. They're going to plug up.
Save that one for me so I can give a copy.
Call him Bohemian.
Thank you.
Hello, Jay. Good to see you. Hello, Ed. Carter stopped in Malvern the other day. I saw it trip report describing the wonders of Malvern. They just found it very hard.
Someone told me that
I don't think that's true, but he has surveyed his mind.